Hello students, once again I welcome you all to Misostudy. So in today's session we will be discussing about some questions of the chapter ecosystem, and we will be discussing about some questions on which are on the basis of NEET. When we talk about the whole ecosystem, we have discussed the different type of ecosystem starting from terrestrial ecosystem, aquatic ecosystem, etc. Similarly, we have already discussed how this succession happens, primary succession and the secondary succession. Out of these two type of successions, the secondary succession is comparatively faster, the primary succession is slower one, because the primary succession is done on the barren land, whereas the secondary succession is done on those lands which was previously occupied. For example, in case of the deforestation. Similarly, the different ecosystem we have studied, the different stratification also we have studied. Different cycles also, like phosphorus cycle, nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle, water cycle, etc. Hope all those things they are clear to you. Likewise, we will discuss some questions. I have collected those 10 questions which are important for NEET exam. I am not saying that they will directly ask the same question in the NEET exam, but these questions they are important because the whole concept is important and the frequency of such type of questions they are higher as compared to the another question. So let's discuss about ecosystem. Normally students feels that whole ecology is quite easy one. Yeah, it is easy one and it is very scoring also. Once you have done this whole unit, you can easily attain very good marks in this whole, it is very scoring, you can attain a very good marks, and even each chapter, from each chapter definitely in the NEET exam. So as your NEET is considered, don't forget about the ecosystem, don't forget about the ecology, because it's easy, very less time consuming and very easy to attempt questions as well. So let's discuss the different questions. First of all, let's discuss about the first question, match the following columns. When we have to match the two column 1 and the column 2. In the column 1, the producers, primary consumer, secondary consumer and decomposer is written. Now first of all, I would like to tell you about this. Each organism is present at one trophic level. Either this can be any insectivorous plant, it can be any insect, this can be any other producer, carnivore, etc. They are placed at the different trophic levels. They have some specific role as per the environment is considered. Similarly, when we say that there is a one trophic level, and from one trophic level to another to third to fourth. Each of the individual at the different trophic level, they are depending one on another just because of the food. Basically for the food, because food is important, food gives us energy. So this can be an upright, this can be of any position, and that we have discussed when I was discussing about the pyramid which was given by the Elton. So let's discuss. The first indicate producers. Producers are those which undergo photosynthesis. That means they are what? Autotrophs. They are what? Autotroph. Means they are producing their own food. Out of the whole option in column 2, the correct option is a B one. Hope I don't need to explain this, why these green plants they undergo photosynthesis. Next is the primary consumers. The primary consumers are those who feed on these producers. Primary consumers, they are also called as herbivores. So the correct option is herbivores. Similarly, the secondary consumer are those which feed on the primary consumer, and they come at the third trophic level. Secondary consumers are nothing, they are just a carnivore. Now let's look for the option. In the option number B, it is written for the A, we know that the green plants are right. So these are the two options which are right. In both of these, the 2 and 2 it is written. Similarly for the B, the correct option is the 1. So this seems to be more correct. Let's talk about the third option. For the third, the fourth is written over here. This is also correct. Next is called as the decomposers. Decomposers are what? They convert the organic material into inorganic nutrient. into inorganic nutrient, and what this do? They enrich the soil so that the whole cycle can go on again and again. So the correct option for this is third option. That means the correct option is a B option as per your question number 1 is considered. Hope this first question is clear to you. Quite basic, but sometimes the students get confused regarding what is primary consumer, what is secondary consumer, because they start considering that primary consumer is primary carnivore. Primary carnivore is this primary carnivore, right? So this was the first question. Let's discuss about the next question. By the time you read this question, I'll prepare the board for you. So this question seems to be quite complex, but it is quite easy also. So in paper, whenever such type of questions are there which are of big size and like that, don't get confused. These questions, those who are of big size, they are always very easy, right? So given below is a simplified model of the phosphorus cycle. So the cycle which they are showing is a phosphorus cycle in a terrestrial ecosystem with 4 blank A to D. Identify the blank. We have to identify those blanks A, B, C, D. Now in the option A, B, C, D, further they have given the certain another option, and we have to look for that. Firstly, tell me one thing, for the phosphorus cycle, the main source is what? Main source is mineral rocks. Mineral rocks. These are what? Main source of phosphorus. These are main source of phosphorus. Now come back to the diagram. In this diagram, first tell me one thing where I can place these. That means this is a place where these rocks they are prepared. This is called as rock minerals. By the mineralization process, they enter into a soil solution, and these soil solution they further form the rock. So this B seems to be a rock minerals. So let's look for the option. The option C indicate these are the rock minerals. So C seems to be correct. Let's look for the C option. C option is that option which is depending upon the soil solution and which is depending upon the A also with the help of D. D correctly indicate that this is something which help in degradation of the A, that is conversion of a D into A. Basically these C present over here, and here it is written the consumers, so that means these might be some producers. Producers, they are dependent upon by the consumers. Consumers, they feed upon these producers. So let's look for the option. This is producer. The C is a producer. This is also right. Next, they have written over here, that is producers, they produce what? And this is written over here. Let's look for the option. They have written the A is a detritus. Yes, of course, the A is a detritus. When A is a detritus, that means whenever these consumers they die, detritus convert these organic substances which is present in their body into the inorganic one. They enrich the soil again with those inorganic nutrient. They again help in formation of the rock minerals. So this actually cycle happens. Now from the producer, what also happens, that is acted upon by the detritus. That is called as a litter. Fallen leaves, they comes under this category. So when we look at the option C seems to be the correct one, where A is a detritus. Yes, A is a detritus. B is a rock minerals. B is a rock minerals. C are the producers, whereas the D is the litter, right? So the correct option for the question number 2 is the C option. Hope this question is also clear to you. Now let's look for the next option. Option number 3. Sorry, question number 3. Now, read this question, then we will discuss. As per my knowledge, they have given certain trophic levels and we have to identify at which trophic level, what are the different organisms which are present? Question number 3 indicates given below is an imaginary pyramid of number. They are given, this is what? Pyramid of number. This is a pyramid of number. Here the PP is a primary producers, primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer. What are these? Primary producer. Can I write this like this? Primary consumer, secondary consumer, and this is tertiary consumer. Hope these things are clear to you. Now we have to identify which is this pyramid. This pyramid shows which type of, basically they have given this is a pyramid of number, and they are saying that producers are very less, whereas the primary consumers they are more, secondary consumers are even less than the primary consumer, tertiary consumer are also much lesser than the secondary consumer. The A indicate level, the primary consumer is insect, and in level secondary consumer is a small insectivorous. These are insects and these are insectivorous birds. Yes, this can be the correct option because these are what? Plants. On that plant, on a single plant, we can see that the numerous insects they are present. So these act as a primary consumer which are present in a plant. One plant, this 500 numbers of the insects they are present. This can be possible. Similarly, at the second level, we can see that those number of the birds they are comparatively less. So this seems to be a correct option. Let's look for the another option. Level primary producers is a phytoplankton in the sea and the whale on the top. First of all, the number of these, they are talking about the pyramid of number, the number of the phytoplankton, they should be high enough. So pyramid, this is always, you can say, the upright. In case when we talk about the phytoplankton and the whale which is on the tertiary consumer, so this seems to be a wrong option. Let's look for the C option. Level 1 primary producer is people trees and the level secondary consumer is a sheep. No, this cannot be the right option because they are talking about the terrestrial ecosystem. In the terrestrial ecosystem, the trees are the more, and this is how they produce, but they have written only the one tree. Level primary carnivore, primary consumer is rats and the level secondary consumer is a cat. This is also a wrong option. Right? If the primary consumer is high, that means what do you mean by this primary producer over here? So this is not mentioned in the D option. So that means the D is also a wrong one. Let's look for the next question. Question number 4. The important steps in the process of decomposition are, we know that when I was discussing about the whole decomposition process, whole decomposition means we have to enrich the soil, organic compounds, they have to be converted into the inorganic one. So the basic is the fragmentation and the mineralization. This is more important. That means breakdown of the larger into the smaller one and later on enrich the soil with the minerals. This is called as a mineralization. So these are the most important steps. Fragmentation and the mineralization. Question number 4, the correct option is the first option. Let's discuss the next question. Which one of the following statement is correct for succession? Now, what do you mean by succession? Succession means at any place one species formation is occurring. After some time we can see that, suppose what I see today is a barren land present. In the next few years, I see that some trees are present over there. That means with the due course of the time, that particular barren land, that particular rock is converted into a forest sort of stage, I would rather say. How this is possible? This is quite possible, and this process is called as a succession. When succession occur on a barren land, on the previously occupied, on a barren land means emptied land like rock, etc. This is called as a primary succession. Whenever these succession occur on that land which was previously occupied, now it is a barren one. That means inorganic nutrients, they are already present in that land. For example, in case of the agriculture, we plant one crops, in the next year we plant the second type of crop. This is a type of the secondary succession. Another type of succession, we can say, suppose a whole area is deforested because of the human activities, anthropogenic activities, that area is deforested. Because of the deforestation, I can see that the inorganic minerals, they are present, but as inorganic minerals are there, so for the pioneer community to come and to attack, to remain over there, this is very easy for them, rather than for that pioneer community to come and live on those land which was not previously occupied, in that the nutrients are not present, right. So this is the basic difference between the primary and the secondary. Secondary succession is quite fast. Which one of the following statements is correct for the secondary succession? That means it occur on the deforested site. Yes, this is the right option. Some deforestation occur, the forest fire occur, because of that, that land is converted into the barren land. This is because of that. So this is the right option. It follows a primary succession. No, it doesn't follow the primary succession until or unless some calamities have taken place. We cannot say that this is a type of primary succession. See, it is similar to the primary succession, except it is relatively fast pace. No, not at all. It is not like that of the pioneer succession, because the species which is a pioneer in the case of primary succession, they are different as compared to those species which are the pioneer as per the secondary succession is considered. It begins on the bare rock. This is also a wrong option. Correct option for the question number 5 is the A option. It occurs on the deforested site. Now, let's discuss the next question. Which one of the following statement for the pyramid of energy is incorrect, whereas the remaining 3 are the correct one? Now, they are saying that a pyramid of energy. You must have studied, in the previous session we have discussed about these Lindemann law. That Lindemann law states that with each trophic level, the number of the amount of the energy, this keeps on decreasing. Only 10% of the whole energy is transferred to next trophic level, rest is dissipated in the form of a heat, right, the respiratory loss or the heat. So this is called as a energy law. And when we see the energy law, energy pyramid is always upright. Because of Lindemann law, they said that this is, suppose this is a first trophic level, this is a second trophic level, this is the third one, this is the fourth one. At each trophic level, I can see that the energy decreases. Energy decreases. Increasing trophic level, energy decreases. Now let's look for the option which is related to this. It shows that energy content at the different trophic level of organism. Which one of the following statement of the pyramid of energy is incorrect? Obviously, this basically shows the energy content, that how much energy is present at the first trophic level, at the second, at the third and the fourth one. So this option seems to be a correct option. B says that it is inverted in shape. Have I ever told you that it is of inverted shape? No, not at all. So this is a wrong option, because this is always upright. The C is the correct one. It has obviously when it is upright, the broad base is present. So we have to look for that option which is incorrect. The B option is the incorrect one. So the correct option for the question number 6 is a B. Let's look for the 7th question. Now, select the matched one. Sedimentary, nutrient, nitrogen cycle. Sedimentary cycle doesn't have these nitrogen. Nitrogen come under the gaseous cycle, like carbon, etc. They come under the gaseous cycle. So this is a wrong one. Now tell me one example of sedimentary nutrient. The phosphorus. They comes under the sedimentary nutrient because they are present in the phosphorus rocks. So the first option is not correct one. The first option is wrong. Let's talk about the pioneer species. Pioneer species are those species which first arrive in succession. First arrive in succession. Obviously, the lichen is those species which first arise on the barren land. So, the correct option, the B option is the correct one, but we have to look for the different options. Secondary succession, that means these type of succession, I have already told you, this occur on the previously occupied land and they have given the burned forest. So, this seems to be a correct option, right. So, I can say that the second and the third is a correct. Let us look for the fourth option. Pyramid of biomass in sea is always upright. Is that so? Not at all. Pyramid of biomass, that means in the primary trophic level, the phytoplanktons, the zooplankton, phytoplankton, zooplanktons are present. Phytoplankton biomass is comparatively less as compared to the fishes which is present over here. These are the large fishes. Where I can say that those which are having a larger biomass are those large fishes. So, we cannot say that they are always upright, rather they are always inverted. This is a wrong option. So, second and the third is correct. Option number C is correct. Just for the confusion, I have placed this E option as well. Though these E option doesn't come in your NEET exam, only A, B, C, D is enough. So, this is just a practice. So, I have chosen this question. In this questions also, in this particular question also, we have a E option. Which one of the following statement regarding the food chain is a false? So, we have to say something about the food chain. Food chain is what? When one individual is depending upon the another for the food. In an aquatic ecosystem, the grazing food chain is a major conduct of energy flow. Now, tell me one thing, aquatic ecosystem they have mentioned. In the aquatic system, deers are there? No, not at all. In aquatic system, these grasses are there? No, not at all. Then why they have written the grazing food chain over here? So, this option is a correct one. So, in the beginning only, I got my answer, that is A, correct option, because they are looking for that which option is false. So, this seems to be a correct one. But we will not stop here, we will look for the another option also. Similar like attempt you have to go in your NEET exam as well. Sometimes what happens, you feel that A is correct one and you mark that A and you further move on to the next question. Don't do that. Sometimes what happens, the B option is more correct. So, by judging that which one is more correct, this is how you can proceed. And also one major mistake that students go for is that regarding these, whether these are false and the true. They look for that, okay, the following statement regarding the food chain. That means which one of the food chain is the right one. Then you will feel, okay, this one is also right, 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 and you get confused. So, read this question, read every question properly if they are asking the do or the don'ts. So, this is a major mistake that most of the students do in NEET exam. B indicates in terrestrial ecosystem a large fraction of energy flows through detritus food chain. Yes, this is the correct option, because detritus food chain, they help in conversion of the organic substances into inorganic one, so that more and more of these inorganic nutrients can be absorbed by the plants. Next, it is written over here, the primary consumer belong to the first trophic level. Primary consumer, they belong to the first trophic level. Yes, this seems to be a correct option. Sometimes what happens is that when we are talking about those food chain, some herbivore food chain, in that cases the D option is the correct one. Animals like cockroaches and the cows are the omnivores, because they can feed on the crows, because they feed on the different, they have a different preferences depending upon the environment in which they live. So, this is a quite correct option. So, correct option is a, incorrect option is a A1, right, for the 8th question. Let us look for the 9th question. Select the formula for ecological efficiency. So, hope you have seen those sessions when I was discussing about how you can calculate the ecological efficiency. Ecological efficiency, now how you can remember this ecological efficiency? It is written E over here, this is E over here, that E is also energy. That means how much energy is transferred from one trophic level to another. This is called as the ecological efficiency. That means what is the amount of energy which is present at the this trophic level, and what is the amount of energy which was present at the previous trophic level. The ratio of that is called as the ecological efficiency. So E. This is how you can remember. So the correct option is this option, energy converted into biomass production at trophic level, energy present at the biomass production at the previous trophic level. Correct option is a D option. So this is a correct option. So in the 9th question, the D option is the correct option. So this is how you can remember E, energy. Let's look for the next question. In this question also, they are discussing about the succession. The correct sequence of the plant which is present in the hydrosphere. When I was discussing about the succession in case of the aquatic ecosystem, succession basically follows one particular criteria. Let's look how these criteria is followed. First of all, there are phytoplanktons come. These phytoplanktons, they are replaced by rooted, submerged plants. Rooted, submerged plants. Rooted, submerged plants, they are replaced by floating plant. Now, after these floating plants, we have is the red swamp stage. Reed swamp stage, and after this we have another stage which is called as sedge meadow stage. After this we have two stages, one is called as a woodland stage and another is called as a forest stage. Woodland and then forest stage. Woodland and then forest stage. So first of all, what will happen, the phytoplankton, they come at that particular places. Now just give me one example of these phytoplankton. Volvox, etc., they come under the phytoplankton. Out of these, the whole indicates the oak tree. The first oak is not a phytoplankton. The Volvox it is written over in the B option. The B seems to be the correct option. Later on, the rooted submerged plant, that means they have written in the B option hydrilla over here. That means this seems to be correct one. After that, we know that the pistia is what? They are floating hydrophytes. Then we have is the scirpus come under the reed swamp stage, the lantana and the oak. So the correct option for the question number 10 is the B option. Students, as we are discussing about the 10 question, the question number 10, so what you have to remember, this is the first question which I have taken regarding the succession in case of the aquatic. Similarly, succession we have already discussed in case of the xerophytic condition or on the land, what happens, how this whole succession happens. So both of these, they are very, very, very important. How you can remember this? Just remember this whole sequence by which the one species is replaced by the another. This is a major sequence as per the water succession, the hydrarch succession is considered. After firstly the phytoplankton came, and later on they are replaced by that particular forest. The forest come at that particular stage, and that pond, that particular pond is converted into a forest. This is also a type of succession. So with this we have completed, students, a 10th question, and these 10 questions, they are again and again I am saying you this thing, they are important. Such type of question they definitely ask in NEET exam. So how you can prepare for such question? Practice these questions again and again. These are just 10 questions, but you cannot completely rely on these 10 questions. You have to look for the another options, another questions as well. So these basically you have to approach like this. This is the whole, the why I was teaching you all this. I was just trying to tell you that this is how you can approach for the different questions. Even in our modules, the different questions, questions are also given. Do practice them again and again and again and again. Whenever you get time in front of the TV or wherever you are sitting, wherever you are enjoying, just whenever you are bored of reading things again and again, just do one thing, start practicing the question. Not one time, two time, three time and the fourth time, do those questions again and again. So this will this will help you in revising those topic which you have done earlier, right? So students, this is all about the today's session. We'll meet in the next session when we will discuss more questions. Thank you students for watching this.